Hey, it's Edelle and Rane from MiamiFruit.org, and we are at a cacao farm in Ecuador. So we're just checking out the trees. It's beautiful here. There's a ton of fruit, and this is the fruit that makes chocolate. So this is where chocolate comes from. And the pulp of this fruit is delicious. It's super sweet and creamy. This variety in particular is grown just for the fruit flesh because it's so thick and creamy, whereas other varieties tend to have more bean and less flesh.
Hey, this is Rane from Miami Fruit, and today we're going to talk about tropical cacao fruit, where chocolate comes from. This is a cacao fruit, and inside is the chocolate bean. And these trees that we're looking at here are about 4 years old, and they're grown in tropical climates with warm weather. One thing that we're learning here is that for natural farming methods, the amount of water is extremely important, because if you overwater, there can be fungus issues, and then also the amount of coverage here for fertilizer, for natural compost, natural weed suppressant is really important as well. So here in the mature trees, we have a lot of leaf coverage that prevents weeds and also holds moisture in the ground, so they don't have to irrigate as much. If you irrigate too much, you get fungus and the fruit actually goes bad. So in order to keep down the use of non-organic methods, we can do organic methods here by keeping the water as minimal as possible, and it keeps the fungus away. So here we have the youngest crop that are less than a year old, and because they're so young and the heat is so intense here, the sun is so strong, they have to first start growing the cacao with a cover crop, so something that blocks the sun. So it's an understory crop to begin with. So what they've done here is plant corn, and in between in the rows of corn, planting the young trees about a couple of months old. And then as the trees adapt to the sun, they can use the corn cuttings as a weed suppressant and a fertilizer to cover as mulch around the plants. So it gives the young plants a chance to adapt to the sun and start growing and get their roots out into the soil without having the sun burn the leaves and the foliage. And then also it provides a natural compost method and a natural weed suppressant, while also at the same time providing food and a crop that you can produce a yield as these trees are growing. So during that time, you have something to harvest. So here's a fruit that's ready to harvest, and we know it's ready because it's lightening in color. And when it's really dark, you have to wait until it gets lighter in order to harvest. So go ahead, Edelle, you can pick it.
I like to just twist it off, but I'll probably just
Yep. And then in the inside, we'll show a close-up of this really awesome flesh that's sweet and tart. And then inside this flesh is the cacao bean, which is the chocolate, bitter chocolate part.
It smells so good. It smells like sweet chocolate because the fruit actually is pretty sweet.
I love it.
It's hydrated, sweet, slightly floral, slightly sour, but a little chocolatey as well. It reminds me a lot of mangosteen. And then when you bite into the seed, it's bitter, but the pulp, the sweetness of the pulp kind of counteracts the bitterness. So it makes for an overall pleasant experience. But the seed is really bitter. However, the seed is what is used to make chocolate. So if you blend it in a smoothie or something sweet, it'll give it a chocolatey flavor and give you a lot of energy as well.
This is ice cream bean. This is one of the long varieties. It's very sweet. And to open it, we just crack it like that. And then down the center you have this beautiful.
There are ice cream bean trees all over the place here in Ecuador. It's amazing abundance.
Yeah.
That's so many different varieties so far. And all of them are like marshmallow cotton candy. Really good varieties. The seed pops out really easy from this one. Got a little dirt for my hand planners. So there's a bag over the soursop roots to keep bugs out, and this helps keep bugs out so that they don't have to spray any pesticides, and keeps the fruit looking nice and bug-free. This is the biggest soursop I've ever seen grown in Ecuador, also known as guanabana, and it's ripe and ready to eat. It smells amazing. Look how big this is. It's crazy.